Greg, do you play video games?
What?
You don't play video games.
No. But you know what? I don't shame people who do. I don't.
You just did.
The inflection.
It wasn't intentional.
The inflection was there.
The inflection was the inflection as you're counting lashes when you're whipping Jesus. Wow.
You know, Jesus had his bad side. Let's not get. No, you know you're being.
He was asking for it.
Exactly. Yeah. You're making a value judgment, Duncan.
I'm sorry.
Maybe my timbre or my tone indicated that I was diminishing people who play games, but I think it's marvelous when people let their creativity run rampant in that area. It's simply not for me. I think it's a generational thing. I was born in the middle of World War. I was born in a crossfire hurricane, and I howled at my mom in the drive-in rain. Yeah, I was down. So the thing is...
Well, there's a healthy use of your time.
I don't... I like to read and watch old movies. And lately, because Jackie Robinson's movie came out this week, 42, I went and saw it the other day, and I have... And my wife, you know, imagine her disappointment when I bring 4 different books about Jackie Robinson out, including 2 that he's written.
I saw the poster at the Grove, and I was like, I bet Greg's happy about that baseball movie coming out. Is it any good?
It was hagiographic, as we say. It portrayed him in a way that.
What does that mean? Hagiographic?
Hagiographic is like when you take someone's history. Like, for instance, if I were to write the history of Dan Harmon.
Go on.
Right. Like, all of a sudden you'd be pounding over a typewriter and pieces of paper coming out, and then the'd be stacks of them, right?
And the Stephen J. Cannell logo would happen.
The shot of the paper. Yeah. And then. And then. You'd take a sip from a bottle, but then we'd see in the garbage can 80 bottles. Right. And then all over the floor.
And a letter from my mom.
Right. And a can of tuna that's been upturned. Right. And a cat that hasn't been fed in ages and whatnot.
And I'd have an answering machine, and there'd be 6 messages in a row, all expository.
Right.
Hey, it's your editor. Got another thing for the...
Every single one of them would explain your character. Right. This is your mom. Why won't you call? Right. You know, one after the next.
Yeah, that 80s mom on the other end of the phone.
But then when you like write the script that wins and you become Dan Harmon and shit, that's the moment we'd be like, I'm so grateful. If there's one thing I want to thank, it's God and shit. They didn't do that in the Jackie movie.
They didn't. Wait, they didn't.
No, they didn't. They had him be a human, but like I know way too much about this, and I don't want to stop your show.
Well, but I'm caught up on this word hagiographic. I just want to make sure I understand.
Hagiography is taking the history of someone and.
Can you spell that word?
Yeah, Hagio.
G-I.
Can you mine it in Minecraft?
Yeah, I can.
No, not mime. He wants to.
Mime it.
Wait, were you going to mime it?
No, I was going to mine it. Like
he was miming pulling a cart.
If you remember the 7 dwarves, they worked in a mine all day, and I think
so it's spelled like Haji.
Yeah, it's a Greek word, and I'm not certain what the prefix means, but in essence, what it. Easy, Tiger. I'll take it from here. Thanks. I know you've got some Asperger people here tonight. It's awesome.
Just some Goldberg people.
Yeah, I know. You have many thesauruses here and other tiny dinosaurs all around the audience. It just means that it takes what was once a human experience and turns it into a movie experience. You know, like, for instance, you've seen, Jeff and I often talk about the movie Patton or Lawrence of Arabia, which are great biopics, but like they have nothing to do with the actual person.
There's not a single moment in the movie that probably happened.
Well,
and
maybe.
Patton didn't jump out on a balcony and start shooting his pistols at a plane going by.
Maybe he did. If he didn't, he ought to have, and that's what movies are about.
I hope he actually said in the hallway of somewhere with sunlight coming in a bunch of windows, I hope he said, is this some kind of sick joke? An entire world at war and I'm not involved?
Yeah. God will not allow it!
That's my favorite part of the movie, man.
Greg and I have done... we travel a lot together. Greg and I will do the entirety of Patton together. And,
2.5 hours. Yeah, it's horrible. And that's the best part, Dan. When he said, an entire world at war and I'm not allowed to be in it. God will not allow this to happen. I will be allowed to fulfill my destiny.
Yeah.
His will be done. Poor black ballet standing there like, you know, but that's why movies are good, because I once said to my wife, if movies aren't better than real life, I don't want to live.
Yeah.
Movies are an extrapolation on life. They're not they're a reflection.
Yeah. I mean, a movie, for better or for worse, the definition of it has become, well, now it's been extended to 3 hours. I don't know why that movement happened.
I know, it's horrible.
It has something to do with the same reason why in the 90s graphic design of posters went out the window.
Yeah.
It just became Denzel Washington's half of his face and half of whoever else's face was in the movie.
Yeah.
And then like a knife. And that I thought that would never end, but I think like I've seen some cool posters lately. Like it seems like graphic designers have started to get paid again to.
Yeah.
But I think that maybe editing entered that thing where they're like, wait a minute, we don't have to do 3 passes on this movie. Let's just make it 3.5 hours long. But you would think that the bottom line mentality would say, no, make it 90 minutes so that we can show it in
those
multiplexes.
bloody Lord of the Rings movies are like 8 hours long each.
I guess, but they make so much money that everyone's confusing that and going like, sure, let your Brad Pitt movie about the invention of ping pong be 3 hours long. It'll be just like a Peter Jackson
I love
film.
that movie, by the way. Hot ball.
The tiny net.